I'm surprised that y'all talked 2 weeks before. This, to me, I'm like, okay, there must have been some tension leading up to it. Like, y'all must have been on bad terms, something. One last question. If he were to call you up and say, yo, let's work it out, would you do it?
I don't want to talk to that nigga.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to talk to that nigga, like, you know.
Yo, what's good, fam? Your boy back again with another crazy breakdown. Today, we're diving headfirst into Louisiana street politics, the kind of story that really flips how you see things. No hype, no exaggeration. This situation runs deep, and it's been boiling under the surface for years. When NBA YoungBoy dropped that track 9, the whole state felt it instantly. Baton Rouge went wild overnight. But let's clear something up real fast. This was never just about a song or catchy lyrics for vibes. That name wasn't random, it wasn't harmless, and it definitely wasn't accidental. When YB said Nui, he cracked open a past a lot of people thought was buried for good. That single word dragged old tension back into the spotlight fast. We're talking about a past murder case that almost sent Boosie to death row, a respected street figure who lost his life in a city that's been split straight down the middle ever since. These moments don't just fade away. They flip alliances, shift loyalty, and completely change how the streets move. The pressure, the pain, the fallout, all of it connects. To really understand how this spiral even started, we gotta rewind and break this down clean. NBA YoungBoy and Boosie both come from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, but their connection was never simple. What once looked like family slowly twisted into something way darker. Baton Rouge isn't some massive city where people never cross paths. It's tight, it's compact, and everybody knows everybody in some way. With a population around 200,000, when two major stars rise from the same soil, their paths are guaranteed to cross. There's no dodging that. Boosie had already been holding serious weight in Baton Rouge since the early 2000s, stamping his name long before YoungBoy ever touched a mic. Back then, Boosie was already certified, while YoungBoy was still a kid watching everything from the sidelines, soaking it all in. We're talking Lil Boosie making classic records with Webby, setting the sound of the city, while YoungBoy was still years away from recording music seriously. But Baton Rouge has layers, and that's where things get tricky fast. The city is split, north side, south side, different wards, different energy. Not everybody moves in sync. Boosie reps the south side, especially the bottom, while YoungBoy comes straight out of the north. That divide might look small on a map, but in street politics, it carries heavy consequences. When YoungBoy started buzzing around 2015 and 2016, Boosie was already a legend. At first, there was mutual respect. Boosie saw the talent, and YoungBoy understood the importance of respecting the ones who laid the groundwork. Early on, there was no beef at all. No tension, no static, none of that. Behind the scenes, they were actually cool, moving with quiet respect and understanding. But this is where the story takes a sharp turn. The first real cracks didn't come from a diss record or a viral moment. It came down to respect and street protocol, plain and simple. YoungBoy's rise was fast, almost too fast for people to process. His YouTube numbers were exploding, his name was ringing everywhere, and his street credibility was already solid. Labels were circling, the spotlight got brighter, and the pressure came heavy. But with that fast success, whispers started spreading. People felt his attitude shifted. Some said he wasn't giving proper acknowledgement to the legends who came before him. Boosie reportedly felt a certain way when YoungBoy wasn't clearing records or showing Louisiana respect the way it was expected. That silence spoke loud. And in this culture, moves like that never go unnoticed. In one interview, Boosie addressed it directly, saying, "I jumped on that and cleared all that from, all the artists. I messed with freedom, but I don't know what happened with Top. I really don't know what happened."
YoungBoy first started, I jumped on they shit and cleared all they from, all they artists, I fuck with freedom, But, I don't know what the fuck happened with Top, bro. I don't know what.
That statement had people talking heavy. You could hear the confusion, the frustration, and a relationship slipping away in real time. What Boosie was really speaking on was his long history of clearing samples, making calls, and opening doors for Louisiana artists. He had a reputation for showing love and helping people behind him win. But when it came to YoungBoy, that same energy didn't feel mutual anymore. Whether it was label politics, business pressure, or something personal, the respect started fading fast. That lack of reciprocity hit a nerve. Once that happened, the tone changed completely. Subliminal shots started sneaking into the music. Subtle at first, but loud enough for the streets to catch instantly. Boosie felt disrespected, and in Louisiana, disrespect toward a certified legend doesn't slide quietly. The city started splitting right down the middle. You were either riding with Boosie or backing YoungBoy. No in between. At the peak of the tension, Boosie wasn't holding back. He made it clear he felt YoungBoy was out of pocket and skipping respect owed to the ones who built the foundation. From his perspective, he put real work into Louisiana hip-hop, opened real doors, and what he saw felt like straight ingratitude. When the music got more direct, YoungBoy dropped lines fans took as clear shots. Boosie responded with his own slick words, keeping the pressure alive in the streets. Fans stayed glued, loving the chaos, but off camera, things were getting dangerously divided fast. Boosie's stance stayed firm. YoungBoy needed to understand his position and show respect to the OGs. In his eyes, the young star was moving reckless, skipping steps, and someone needed to slow that energy down. Then came the twist nobody saw coming. Out of nowhere, the tension cooled, at least for a moment. What happened next shocked the entire Louisiana scene. A legendary phone call went down. Kevin Gates, Fredo Bang, Boosie, and NBA YoungBoy were all on the same line. This wasn't industry small talk. This was Louisiana royalty stepping in to stop the situation before it exploded. Boosie later spoke on that moment with real emotion, saying, "That really messed my head up, man." He explained he was already going through it heavy, and then Gates popped up, Fredo popped up, everybody was on that call. That call came right after Boosie took a plea deal in his federal case. He was under extreme pressure, dealing with legal stress, family issues, and the fear of serious time all at once. The weight was heavy, and that moment hit deeper than people realized. That phone call meant everything to him during one of the darkest periods of his life. He didn't hide it either, openly saying, "I needed that phone call." Emotionally drained, mentally worn down, trying to stay grounded while everything felt unstable. He admitted how fast things can spiral when emotions and movement collide. He even said, "I ain't gonna lie, people sent me some stuff and we were stepping for a hot alone." That alone shows how close the situation came to going completely left. For a moment, it really looked like Louisiana was about to reunite. The tension felt lighter, the noise died down, and Boosie even spoke publicly about the idea of doing a full project with NBA YoungBoy. Fans were hyped, the streets felt relieved, and it honestly seemed like the beef was finally dead and buried. A lot of people believe Kevin Gates played a major role in making that peace call happen. Gates has always been viewed as a peacemaker in Louisiana, someone who steps in when things start heating up internally. He's known for pushing unity and trying to stop situations before they explode into something irreversible. Fredo Bang also had strong reasons to want things calmed down. With family ties involved, keeping the peace wasn't just business, it was personal. And here's a detail that doesn't get talked about nearly enough. Boosie's son, Tootie Raw, is actually a huge NBA YoungBoy fan. He listens to YoungBoy's music heavy. That personal connection likely weighed on Boosie more than people realize. Imagine being Boosie and your own son coming to you like, "Dad, why you beefing with my favorite rapper?" That question hits way different coming from your child instead of the streets. Family changes perspective. Tootie Raw probably played a bigger role behind the scenes than anyone wants to admit. He represents the new generation of Louisiana fans who don't want to see legends clashing non-stop. They want good music, collaboration, and unity, not endless tension. Seeing his own son rock with YoungBoy's music likely made Boosie step back and realize this situation was bigger than pride. It wasn't just affecting two artists anymore, it was bleeding into the culture itself. And Boosie understands that choosing not to go all out against NBA YoungBoy has nothing to do with fear. It's about strategy and moving smart. YoungBoy carries a different type of energy that the streets recognize instantly. His reputation comes from real-life struggles, legal pressure, loss, and survival. That authenticity bleeds straight through his music, and the streets respect that heavy. When YoungBoy speaks on violence in his songs, it doesn't sound like studio fantasy. It reflects experiences people know he's lived through. That's a major difference, and Boosie understands that better than most. After everything Boosie's already survived, major cases, federal pressure, real-life consequences, he's built a legitimate empire from the ground up. From his perspective, risking all that stability over a rap beef makes zero sense at this stage of life. YoungBoy is younger, hungrier, and moving with raw energy because he has less to lose. Meanwhile, Boosie has kids, businesses, and a legacy that took decades to build and protect. Sometimes the smartest move isn't clashing head-on, It's knowing when to fall back and let things cool. That's exactly the approach Boosie's been taking lately, and that's growth, not weakness. Age plays a role here too. Boosie's in his 40s now, moving with wisdom and perspective, while YoungBoy is still young, emotional, and impulsive. Boosie probably sees a younger version of himself in YoungBoy and doesn't want to watch another talented artist crash out over unnecessary conflict. But don't get it twisted at all. Boosie isn't soft. He just knows how to pick his battles wisely. Going to war with someone from the same city, someone you should be building with, simply isn't worth it. But just when everything looked calm, NBA YoungBoy dropped a move nobody saw coming, and it shook the streets instantly. Out of nowhere, he released a song titled Nui, and Baton Rouge went into full meltdown mode almost overnight. The timing alone had people raising eyebrows everywhere. For those unfamiliar with the backstory, Nui was a well-known street figure from Baton Rouge who was killed in 2009. His name still carries serious weight in the city, and the case surrounding his death has always been sensitive and controversial. What made this even wilder is that Boosie had once been charged in a case connected to that situation, a case that nearly sent him to death row. So when YoungBoy casually used that name as a song title, people were stunned. This wasn't ancient history, and it definitely wasn't random. The song dropped just weeks after that so-called peace call, making the timing look extremely questionable. Either YoungBoy didn't think it through, or he knew exactly what he was doing and didn't care. Christopher Jackson, also known as Nui or Mr. Badazz, was one of the most feared and respected street figures in Baton Rouge during the 2000s. This wasn't just a name people forgot about. He was a certified street legend. Originally from Easy Town, but heavily connected to South Baton Rouge, Nui was making serious money, running with his own crew and even trying to transition into music before his life was cut short. That history is exactly why this move hit so hard. It reopened wounds people thought were finally healing. Nui wasn't just known in the streets, he was really living that boss lifestyle. He owned his own spot, Club 225, and moved like someone who already believed he made it. In one of his final interviews, he said, "I'm just a street dude trying to convince people I can rap. The streets really evolved for me. They really supported me. I did everything the old-fashioned way." That quote alone shows how deeply his identity was tied to the streets. But make no mistake, Nui also carried a ruthless reputation. He wasn't just known for hustling. Stories followed him about robbing other dealers, crossing people close to him, taking large amounts, and disappearing without a trace. He moved silently, unpredictably, and that made people uneasy. On top of that, he had tension with multiple figures across Baton Rouge, including people connected to Boosie's circle. Disputes over territory, money, and respect were always bubbling. Classic street politics that explode when egos collide. Then came February 9th, 2009, the day everything shifted forever. Nui was killed at his home on America Street in Baton Rouge, and the shock hit the city instantly. The news spread fast, rumors moved even faster, and before the dust could settle, speculation took over the streets. Names were being whispered everywhere, and almost immediately, Boosie's name started circulating in connection to the situation. That's when the case turned into something much bigger, heavier, and impossible for Baton Rouge to ignore. Federal prosecutors built their entire case around a young individual named Michael Marlowe, better known in the streets as Marlowe Mike. According to the government, he was deeply tied to Boosie's inner circle and was being used as muscle during ongoing street conflicts, including the situation involving Nui. That allegation alone sent shockwaves through the city. Prosecutors claimed Boosie had placed a large cash bounty on Nui due to long-running street tension. They painted Boosie as a mastermind figure, someone allegedly calling shots from behind the scenes while others handled the dirty work. The stakes couldn't have been higher. Boosie was facing the possibility of the death penalty, and the pressure was crushing from every direction. Early on, Marlowe Mike cooperated with federal authorities and was expected to testify against Boosie, making the situation look extremely grim. Prosecutors believed they had everything lined up: statements, alleged evidence, and testimony they thought would seal the case. But then, the trial took a shocking turn. When Marlowe Mike took the stand, he admitted he lied. He stated clearly that Boosie never ordered any acts of violence. That single moment flipped the entire case upside down. The prosecution unraveled fast. Without that testimony, everything collapsed, and Boosie ultimately beat the murder charges. He walked free, But even with a legal victory, the damage in the streets was already done. Rumors don't disappear just because a court speaks. From that point on, Nui's name became permanently tied to Boosie's most serious legal battle. Even after acquittal, whispers followed him everywhere, and that cloud never fully lifted. People in the city kept replaying theories about what really happened that night. The entire connection between Boosie and Nui was built around Marlo Mike's original statement. And once that narrative hit the public, there was no pulling it back. At the time, prosecutors claimed Boosie was allegedly running a criminal operation and using younger individuals to handle street conflicts. They said Nui was targeted over unresolved street politics, territory issues, and long-standing tension. They pointed to phone records, witness accounts, and circumstantial material to frame Boosie as the one pulling strings behind the scenes. Nui's death was placed at the center of it all. But once Marlo Mike admitted he lied to federal agents in hopes of a better deal and stated Boosie had nothing to do with it, the case fell apart completely. Boosie walked free, but the stain on his name never fully faded. That's exactly why NBA YoungBoy releasing a song titled Nui hit so hard. It reopened old wounds, dragged buried pain back to the surface, and made Boosie's reaction feel less like anger and more like hurt mixed with betrayal. When Boosie spoke on the song, you could hear it instantly. His tone shifted, his energy changed, and it was clear this struck a deep nerve. This wasn't mild irritation, this was genuine pain. He made his stance clear about bringing deceased individuals into conflicts, explaining that if issues existed while someone was alive, that's where it stayed. Once they're gone, he refuses to speak on them publicly. That principle mattered to him, and he wasn't bending on it. Still, what shocked people most was his restraint. Boosie could have gone all the way left, dropped a hard diss, and turned everything chaotic. Instead, he chose not to escalate. Even with heavy emotions, he pulled back. When asked if he'd take a call from YoungBoy, Boosie hesitated and said he didn't want to talk, but still wished him well. You could hear frustration, disappointment, and real pain in his voice. This wasn't about music anymore. From Boosie's perspective, a serious line had been crossed. What made it sting even worse was the timing. They had just made peace, just talked things out, and then that record dropped. That's why Boosie's reaction wasn't loud rage. It was betrayal mixed with disbelief. He truly believed the slate had been wiped clean. In his mind, the tension was gone and unity was finally possible. He was ready to work with YoungBoy and bring Louisiana together for real. That's what made this hurt cut deeper than anything else. Just when healing felt real, the deepest wound was reopened. That Nui record flipped everything upside down instantly. All talk of collaboration, unity, and rebuilding Baton Rouge energy died right there. Boosie felt blindsided. That song dragged pain he thought was long buried back into the spotlight. Once that line was crossed, there was no easy way back. This situation shows how messy street politics get when history, pain, and respect collide. On paper, Boosie and NBA YoungBoy should be building together, representing Baton Rouge and Louisiana culture on a global level. Instead, pride, ego, and unresolved emotion took control. YoungBoy moves with fearless energy and doesn't always seem worried about the fallout. Boosie is a certified legend who won't tolerate disrespect, even when trying to stay calm. That clash alone keeps this situation unstable. And honestly, it feels far from finished. At the end of the day, both are Louisiana royalty. The state is big enough for both of them to win at the same time. But history shows how fast things go left when pain and respect collide. Now it's on you. Was YoungBoy wrong for dropping that Nui record knowing the history behind it? Did Boosie handle this the smartest way possible? Or should he have moved differently? And the big question everybody wants answered, do you think these two will ever be cool again? Or is this situation too far gone? Drop your real thoughts in the comments. Don't hold back. Smash that like button. Share this video with your people. Make sure you're locked in. Turn on notifications and subscribe to Velvet Flow because the streets never sleep and neither do we. We drop heat every single day. Trust me, tomorrow's upload goes even crazier, even deeper. You don't want to miss it, and we'll catch you in the next one right here at Velvet Flow, where the truth of the streets lives.